With just 2 weeks left in the fiscal year, the state finds itself with a budget surplus. It's an interesting development because Oklahoma has been in financial trouble for much of the year. In fact, legislators were faced with a $1.3 billion budget shortfall, and there was not enough revenue to keep up with expenses during the year. So 2 rounds of across-the-board cuts to state agencies had to be implemented. Well, it turns out one of those cuts was bigger than it had to be, and so now the state finds that it has more money in its coffers than it had planned for. And so now we just have 2 weeks left in the fiscal year. If that money stays there, or most of it stays there, it looks like the state's going to have at least $100 million extra to spend. And there's 2 ways it can spend it. It could give proportionally back to the agencies from which it cut earlier in the year, or the legislature could be brought back in for a special session, and the legislators and the governor can decide who to spend it on. The first option is by far the more likely. And we'll know for sure by the middle of July just how big that surplus is going to be. Right now it stands at $166 million, but there's a chance that the June revenue can be off and cause that number to decline. So they're saying probably at least $100 million will be left. An interesting development in what has been a bad budget year for the state of Oklahoma.